Imagine waking up one day with the unsettling realization that the life you're living doesn't quite feel like you. You've checked all the boxes, achieved what others call success, yet there's a persistent ache, a whisper that something is missing. But why does this happen? Why do so many of us drift through life, chasing external validations, only to find ourselves feeling utterly lost in our own skin? This isn't just a fleeting thought, it's a deep, quiet struggle shared by many. It's the feeling that you're living a borrowed life, or wearing a mask that's become too heavy. But what if this feeling isn't a flaw, but a powerful signal, an urgent call to discover who you truly are? Today we're diving into the wisdom of Carl Jung, a pioneering thinker who understood this struggle. Jung believed that true life, a life of meaning and wholeness, only truly begins when you dare to find yourself. We'll explore why we lose touch with our authentic selves, how society pulls us away, and what it means to find yourself, not as a destination, but a lifelong process. Stay with me, because Jung's insights can shift how you see yourself and live your entire life. Where do we begin on this journey of self-discovery? Carl Jung suggests we start by looking at the very first layer we present to the world, what he called the persona. Think of the persona as the mask you wear, the role you play in social situations. It's not fake, but it's not the entire you. It's the public image we present to fit in, be accepted, or meet expectations. Consider your own life. At work, you adopt a professional demeanor. You speak and act differently, focusing on productivity. Is that how you act with friends or alone? Probably not. The person at work, with family, or at a party, these are all different personas. We develop them naturally, almost instinctively, from a young age. Why do we do this? Persona is incredibly useful. It helps us navigate the social world. It allows us to belong, find acceptance, and feel safe. If you're a doctor, society expects you to act calm and knowledgeable. As a student, diligent and respectful. Wearing the appropriate persona makes life smoother, helping you get along or avoid awkward situations. The problem arises when we believe the persona is our entire self. Imagine wearing a mask so long you forget your real face. This is where the feeling of being disconnected or living a borrowed life often comes from. You might have a life that looks perfect, a great job, nice house, happy relationship, but inside you feel a hollowness, a sense you're playing a part not truly yours.
This happens because we often internalize values and expectations from family, culture, and society. We learn what is good, successful, or acceptable, and we strive to embody those traits, even if they don't resonate with who we are deep down. Perhaps you were told you should be a lawyer, or that success means money, or that good person always puts others first. You might adopt these ideas, building a persona, only to find they don't align with your deepest desires or genuine personality. Think about social media pressure. We curate online personas, sharing only highlights, the perfect moments. We present a version of ourselves for likes, validation, and approval. This constant performance creates a gap between the online persona and the real person. It can leave us exhausted and alienated, chasing an external image instead of inner truth. So the first step in finding yourself, Jung says, is to recognize your persona. Understand that the roles you play are not the sum total of who you are. Become aware of the masks you wear. Ask yourself, who am I when the mask comes off? What parts am I hiding to fit in? This isn't about discarding your persona, it's about making it a conscious tool, rather than letting it use you. But what happens to parts that don't fit our persona, the qualities we deem unacceptable, the desires we suppress? Jung says they don't disappear, they retreat into what he called the shadow. The shadow is one of Jung's most fascinating and misunderstood concepts. It's not just the bad parts, it's everything we've disowned. It's the dark, hidden, repressed side of our personality. Imagine a closet where you shove things you don't want anyone to see. Old clothes, dusty boxes. The shadow is like that for your psyche. It contains aspects you deem undesirable, shameful, or not fitting your persona. This could be anger, jealousy,
laziness, selfishness, but also creativity, spontaneity, or power you've been taught to suppress. Why do we create a shadow? From a young age, we learn what is acceptable and what isn't. When we express anger as a child, we might be told it's bad. If we're too loud or too quiet, assertive or passive, emotional or detached, we receive messages about what parts of us are okay. To gain love and approval, we push these unacceptable traits into the shadow. We pretend they don't exist, even to ourselves. But the shadow doesn't just sit there. It powerfully influences our lives, often unconsciously. Think about reacting strongly to something minor, like an outburst of anger or intense envy. Often, these are hints your shadow is at play. The more you repress, the more forcefully it tries to emerge. One of the most common ways the shadow makes itself known is through projection. This is when we see our disowned qualities in others. Have you met someone who instantly irritates you, or a person you label as arrogant or lazy, even when others don't see them that way? Often these strong negative reactions are a sign you are projecting your shadow. The traits you find most annoying in others might be the qualities you've suppressed within yourself. For example, if you criticize others for being selfish, it might be because you have a suppressed desire to prioritize your own needs, but you've judged that desire as selfish. Jung believed ignoring the shadow is detrimental to our well-being and our ability to find ourselves. It drains energy, limits potential, and can lead to irrational behaviors. If you don't acknowledge your capacity for anger, it might erupt uncontrollably. If you deny your desire for power, you might sabotage your own success. The shadow also contains powerful, positive energies. Perhaps you've suppressed creativity because it wasn't seen as practical, or assertiveness because it was labeled aggressive. These unlived potentials sit in your shadow, waiting to be rediscovered. Denying these parts means losing vitality and authenticity. So, the second step in finding yourself is to acknowledge and explore your shadow. This isn't about becoming bad or giving in to destructive impulses. It's about bravely looking at these hidden aspects, understanding why they were repressed, and integrating them into your conscious awareness. It's about recognizing you are a complex being, capable of both light and dark, and true wholeness embraces all of it. This process is often uncomfortable, even frightening, because it challenges our self-image. But it's a necessary step towards reclaiming your full power and authenticity. Once we understand the masks we wear and peer into our shadow, we're ready for Jung's crucial process, integration. This isn't just awareness, it's actively bringing separated parts together, making the unconscious conscious. Think of it like assembling a puzzle. You've identified pieces, your persona, the frame you present, and your shadow, the jumbled dark pieces. Integration is the slow process of fitting those pieces together to form a complete picture. It means acknowledging that the arrogant part you project, the lazy part you judge, or the selfish desire you harbor are all parts of you. This doesn't mean you become arrogant or selfish. Instead, you acknowledge the potential for these traits within yourself. For example, recognizing your capacity for anger allows you to understand its triggers, channel its energy constructively, or choose a calmer response rather than having it burst out unexpectedly. If you realize you've suppressed a desire for recognition, integration means exploring healthy ways to achieve that, rather than letting it fester into envy. This process is uncomfortable. It means confronting aspects you've judged or feared. You might feel guilty, selfish, or harsh, but this is part of the deconstruction. It takes courage to look honestly at your flaws and vulnerabilities and your unlived potentials. It means dismantling the false security your persona and repressed shadow provided. But this discomfort is a sign of growth, a shedding of old skins to reveal a more authentic you. Jung believed the ego, our conscious mind and sense of I, plays a vital role. The ego can become too rigid, attached to the persona, and afraid of the shadow. Integration expands the ego's awareness, incorporating more unconscious material.
It learns to tolerate ambiguity, hold contradictions, and accept the full spectrum of human experience. Instead of being narrow, the ego becomes flexible and encompassing, able to manage the richness of the total psyche.
A key part of integration is engaging with your unconscious. This could involve paying attention to dreams, as Jung saw them as messages revealing shadow aspects or guiding us toward wholeness. It could also involve creative expression, like art or writing, allowing unconscious material to surface. Deep self-reflection, journaling, or honest conversations are powerful tools too. Consider someone always overly accommodating, putting others' needs first to exhaustion, believing this makes them good. Their shadow might contain an unacknowledged desire for boundaries or healthy selfishness. Integration for them means recognizing that part, not by becoming selfish, but by learning to say no, prioritize their well-being, and assert needs in a balanced way. This isn't about becoming a different person, but a more complete and authentic version of who they already are. Integration is not a one-time event, it's an ongoing journey. As we grow, new aspects of our persona and shadow might emerge. It's a dynamic process of continually becoming more aware, accepting, and whole. When we engage in this, we stop being driven by unconscious forces and start living with greater intention and authenticity. As we continue, we notice deeper, universal patterns at play, what Jung called archetypes.
If persona is the mask and shadow the hidden closet, archetypes are like fundamental blueprints within the collective human mind. They are not specific images, but inherited ways of responding to the world, forming certain images and concepts. Jung believed these archetypes reside in the collective unconscious, a deeper layer of the unconscious mind shared by all humanity, inherited across generations. Think of archetypes as universal stories or characters in myths, fairy tales, religions, and dreams across all cultures and times. For example, almost every culture has stories about a hero who journeys, faces trials, and returns transformed. This isn't a coincidence. The hero archetype is a fundamental pattern. We all have the potential to embody the hero, facing challenges and striving for growth. Other common archetypes include the sage, wisdom, the magician, transformation, the innocent, purity, the orphan, vulnerability, the warrior, courage, the lover, connection, and the rebel, freedom. Why are these important? Because our experiences, persona, and shadow are deeply influenced by these universal patterns. We often unconsciously live out archetypal roles. You might be a natural caregiver, an embodiment of the caregiver archetype, or you might feel the pull to explore, reflecting the explorer archetype.
Understanding archetypes helps us make sense of our behaviors, motivations, and choices. It's not that you are the hero, but that these patterns influence your personality and life story. Recognizing active archetypes provides insights into your strengths, challenges, and purpose. For example, if you consistently advocate for justice, you might be strongly connected to the warrior archetype. If you're constantly seeking deeper meaning, the sage archetype might be dominant. These archetypes aren't rigid boxes. They are lenses to understand the universal human experience playing out in our unique lives. Archetypes can also show up in relationships. We might project archetypal roles onto others, seeing someone as a tyrant or savior. Understanding these projections helps us form healthier relationships. Recognizing archetypal patterns within yourself and the world is like learning a secret language that illuminates human experience. It helps you see your personal journey isn't isolated. It's part of a larger human story. It connects you to a vast reservoir of wisdom, helping you understand why certain stories resonate or challenges feel universal.
As we move through life, different archetypes might become more prominent depending on our stage or challenges. In youth, hero or explorer might be strong. Later, sage or caregiver might emerge. Awareness of these influences offers deeper appreciation for our psyche and the human journey. This understanding leads to Jung's ultimate concept, individuation. We've talked about the persona, the mask, the shadow, the repressed parts, integration, bringing them together, and archetypes, universal patterns. Now, Jung brings these pieces together into his most profound concept, individuation. Individuation is the lifelong process of becoming a fully integrated, unique, and whole individual. It's the journey of discovering your unique self, not the ego or persona, but your total being, conscious and unconscious. Jung believes this is the ultimate aim of human existence, the path to true meaning and fulfillment. It's becoming who you are truly meant to be. Crucially, individuation is not about being selfish or isolated. It involves a deep connection to humanity as you acknowledge your shared heritage through the collective unconscious and archetypes. It's about fulfilling your unique potential within that larger context, becoming more whole, not less connected. When you're born, you are full of potential. As you grow, society shapes you, pushing you to develop a persona and suppress parts into your shadow. Individuation reverses this, consciously reclaiming lost parts, not to conform, but to become authentically you. This journey requires courage. It means looking deeply at yourself, including parts you don't like. It means questioning societal norms and expectations. It means discerning what truly belongs to you versus what you've adopted. It's a continuous process of shedding layers that aren't truly yours and embracing the authentic self underneath. At the heart of individuation is the self. For Jung, the self is not the ego, the conscious mind's center. The self is the center of the entire psyche, encompassing conscious and unconscious elements. It's the guiding force, the inner compass that directs us toward wholeness and meaning. To find yourself, Jung would say, is to connect with this deeper guiding aspect of yourself. The self expresses itself through symbols, dreams, and intuitions. It's that whisper you felt earlier, that ache suggesting something is missing. That feeling is the self calling you to individuate, to align your conscious life with your deeper purpose. Consider someone unhappy in a competitive, successful career. They might have a strong persona as a professional, but feel drained and unfulfilled. Through individuation, they might confront fear of failure, shadow, recognize a deeper calling to creativity, archetypal influence, and pursue a path aligning with their inner truth, even if it means leaving external success. This isn't just a career change, it's a step toward becoming more fully themselves. Another example, someone who struggles with speaking their mind, always trying to keep peace. Their shadow might contain repressed anger or a desire for self-assertion. Individuation for them involves learning to express needs and opinions, even if it causes discomfort or challenges their nice persona. This isn't about becoming aggressive, but integrating their assertive nature into a balanced expression. The fruits of individuation are profound. It leads to greater meaning, authenticity, and inner peace. When individuating, you live in alignment with your deepest values and true nature. You become more resilient, rooted in your whole self, not just a fragile persona. You experience purpose and connection, not from external goals, but from living truthfully within. This is why Jung said, life truly begins when you find yourself. He didn't mean life only starts when you reach a perfect state. He meant true life, a life of profound meaning, begins the moment you consciously embark on this journey of self-discovery, individuation. It's a path that never ends, a continuous process of unfolding and realizing your full potential. It is the most important journey you will ever undertake, transforming how you see yourself and live your entire life. It's about moving from living a borrowed life to living your life with purpose and truth. That feeling of being lost, that ache for something more, wasn't a sign of brokenness. It was the call of your deeper self, yearning for integration, for wholeness, for you to step into your full self. You were never lost. You have always been here. The self you seek has been within you, waiting to be remembered, waiting for you to embrace its complexities, its light and shadow, and its universal connections. This journey is not about finding something external. It's about uncovering the incredible, unique individual that has always been deep inside you, waiting to be fully seen and lived. It's about aligning your actions with your deepest, most authentic truth and living a life that truly resonates with your core being. So the choice is yours. Will you continue drifting,
playing roles that don't fit, letting unconscious forces dictate your path? Or will you bravely step forward, take the first conscious breath on this profound journey, and begin finding your authentic self? This journey of individuation, connecting with persona, exploring shadow, integrating your inner world, recognizing archetypal patterns, is not a luxury. It's essential for a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. It's the path to becoming truly alive. But where do you begin your journey? I want to hear from you. Have you felt that disconnect, that whispers something was missing? What mask do you wear most often, or what part of your shadow is most hidden? Share your thoughts and struggles in the comments. Let's start a conversation, a community of seekers. Your experiences are valuable, and by sharing, we all grow together.
If Jung's wisdom resonated with you, if you found value in these concepts, then join our growing community. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into history's greatest thinkers. We'll continue to unravel complex ideas into simple, actionable insights that can transform your life. This channel is here to guide you, providing tools, perspectives, and inspiration as you navigate your inner world and the human experience. We're just getting started on this path of discovering profound truths and applying them to modern life. Remember, life does not truly begin until you find yourself. Now you know the way. Embrace the journey. Embrace yourself.